Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with yesterday's AEW All-In media call from Tony Khan. During the call, the AEW president addressed a series of issues related to this weekend's pay-per-view from Wembley Stadium, including last-minute changes that have had to be made to the show.
They were not changes I wanted to make or planned to make. I'm not talking about the aforementioned matches, not the World Championship match or even the World Tag Team title match or any of these other matches that I just brought up. There will probably be some other changes to the card necessitated by things happening in the real world. Stuff, in some cases, stuff that's nobody's fault, but stuff that is not related to the world of professional wrestling.
Khan also discussed Cash Wheeler, who was arraigned last week on charges of third-degree aggravated assault with a firearm stemming from a recent road rage incident.
As for things that have happened outside of the ring, I can't comment on the specifics at this time because I still don't know everything, still learning facts, but based on the information we have, at this time, we're still keeping an eye on that situation. And at this time, I think it's a very inconclusive situation. It differs from other times where we've come in and weighed in on a situation or acted on a situation based on the evidence, because in this case and everything we're looking at, I don't think we have those facts right now.
NXT's Heat Wave episode aired live last night on the USA Network from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. In the main event, Carmelo Hayes made his 11th successful defense of the NXT Championship, defeating Wes Lee.
Look at Hayes. Hayes wasting no time, going all the way to the top. Wes Lee.
Oh, yes.
Foot. Net. Hayes retains.
The NXT Heritage Cup changed hands on the show with Noam Dar pinning Nathan Frazier. Ava, the daughter of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, made her TV singles debut on the card, losing to Ivy Nile via submission. Nile kept Ava in her submission hold after the bell until she was saved by the other members of the Schism. NXT North American Champion Dominic Mysterio and World Women's Champion Rhea Ripley teamed up for a mixed tag team match, losing to Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria when Lee pinned Mysterio after Raquel Rodriguez attacked Ripley on the outside.
And now Dragon Lee, It's Raquel!
The hell is going on?
Raquel returned to Raw. She's back on NXT.
She should be here.
She's taking it to Mommy, who she'll face in Payback for the Women's World title. But back to live action. North American Champion in the ring. Just got dropped by Dragon Lee.
Oh, I don't like this.
Lee just pinned the North American Champion.
Here are your winners, the T-Bone, Lyra Valkyria, and Dragon Lee.
Oh, yes. Dirty Dom, Rhea Judgment Day. It hasn't been the best 48 hours, but how about that for Team Chemistry book?
In other results, Ilya Dragunov pinned Trick Williams in the opener. NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton brawled during a promo segment with potential challengers Roxanne Perez, Gigi Dolan, Kiana James, and Blair Davenport. And the scheduled match between Baron Corbin and Von Wagner never occurred, as Braun Breaker attacked Wagner before the match could begin, putting him through a ringside table. In ratings news, WWE Monday Night Raw drew an average audience of 1.591 million viewers to the USA Network on Monday, according to WrestleNomics. That's a 9.4% decrease from the 1.757 million that tuned in last week. The total audience for the show was the lowest for Raw since the January 16th edition, which did 1.489 million viewers against ESPN and ABC's airing of a National Football League wildcard playoff game. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic for Monday was 0.50, translating to 654,000 viewers, down 59,000 viewers from last week's 0.55. ESPN's airing of the preseason Monday Night Football game between Baltimore and Washington was the top-ranked show on cable TV. AEW Collision drew an audience of 482,000 last Saturday night on TNT, according to WrestleNomics. That's a slight 1.3% increase from the previous week's audience of 476,000. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was 0.17 and equated to 223,000 viewers. Both of those figures match what Collision had done the week prior. WrestleNomics noted the Ultimate Fighting Championship on ESPN finished in first, with NFL preseason games making up much of the top 10. American Collegiate Football begins this Saturday with a light schedule of games across broadcast and network television. Turning to Japan, the second round of All Japan Pro Wrestling's Royal Road Tournament took place on Tuesday inside Shinkiba First Ring in Tokyo. Results saw Suwama finish Hayato Tamura with a sleeper hold, Shuji Ishikawa pinned Dan Tamura, Satoshi Kojima topped Takuya Nomura, and in the main event, Ryuki Honda upset Kento Miyahara. The semifinals take place on August 27th in Nagoya with Kojima facing Ishikawa while Suwama takes on Honda. And in legal news, Canadian independent wrestler Devin Hannibal Nicholson has been sued by referee Lando Del Toro, real name Pablo Fraga, stemming from an incident in a match on a December 2021 independent show in Irving, Texas, according to a report yesterday in the Dallas Morning News. Nicholson can be seen on video of the match put on by World Class Revolution, repeatedly stabbing Fraga in the head with a metal spike, in a spot in which Fraga has claimed was not planned. Fraga alleges that although he was supposed to blade during the match, Nicholson took the spike to his forehead because he felt there was not enough blood visible. Fraga has also sued World Class Revolution, citing negligence for not having medical staff on duty at the show, and claiming that Nicholson shouldn't even have been allowed to perform on the card, with the lawsuit alleging that Nicholson was seen drinking backstage prior to the bout. Fraga is seeking $250,000 in damages in the case. This is the second legal entanglement that Nicholson is currently in addition to an August 2022 incident in which he is accused of assaulting a woman. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.